What if I told you that one of the most natural parts of a woman's body is also one of the most misunderstood? Tiny in size, but titanic in symbolism. I'm talking about the female nipple, a feature that's been censored, fetishized, and debated for centuries. But beneath the controversy lies something far more profound. Deep psychology, biological intelligence, and emotional meaning that most people never stop to consider. This isn't just a conversation about anatomy, it's about what society chooses to hide, and why. Let's start with the most basic question. Why do women have nipples in the first place? Not for fashion, not for fantasy, to nourish life. During pregnancy and motherhood, the nipple becomes a gateway of survival, delivering milk, warmth, and love to a newborn's body. It's a biological bridge between mother and child, written into our evolution. But that's just the beginning. The areola, the dark circle surrounding the nipple, is rich with nerve endings and smooth muscle tissue. It responds to cold, to touch, to emotion. And most importantly, it's wired directly into the brain's sensory and emotional centers. Yes, the nipple is a functional marvel, but it's also a neurological powerhouse. Why do we treat male and female nipples so differently? Here's where the psychology gets strange. Both men and women have nipples. Structurally, they're nearly identical. But the way society reacts to them couldn't be more different. A man walking shirtless on a beach? Normal. A woman doing the same? Controversial. Even illegal in many places. Why? This isn't about the nipple itself. It's about perception. Psychologists call this phenomenon sexual dimorphism of interpretation. Meaning, we assign different social meanings to the same body part based purely on gender. The anatomy doesn't change. Our attitude does. In much of Western culture, the female nipple is seen as something to hide, to blur out, or to label explicit. But is it really about modesty or about control? Because in other cultures, especially traditional, tribal, or indigenous societies, female nipples are just there. Not sexual, not secret, simply natural. This contrast reveals something vital. Shame is learned. It's not embedded in the skin, it's embedded in the message. The more a society teaches that something is taboo, the more psychologically charged it becomes. The nipple isn't shocking on its own. What's shocking is how we've been trained to feel about it. The science of sensation. Now here's a fact that surprises almost everyone. Modern brain scans have shown that nipple stimulation activates the same region of the brain as genital stimulation. That region? The somatosensory cortex. In women, nipple touch can release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. The same one released during orgasm or childbirth. Depending on the emotional context, it can feel nurturing or erotic, or both. This isn't contradiction, it's complexity. The female nipple serves as a channel for comfort, pleasure, connection, and care. It holds emotional depth that science is only beginning to fully map. Yet instead of celebrating this depth, society flattens it into one thing: sexual provocation. The psychological toll of censorship. What happens when young girls grow up in a culture that censors their bodies? They begin to internalize a dangerous belief that parts of themselves are wrong, that to be seen is to be shamed, that their body is not their own. This leads to more than confusion. It leads to body image disorders, anxiety, and a painful disconnection from natural self-acceptance. And it's not just emotional, it's neurological. When the brain is taught to fear or hide a part of the body, that part becomes a psychological blind spot. Cut off from healthy curiosity and comfort. Think it's just humans making these decisions? Think again. Social media platforms, driven by AI and algorithm, routinely block, ban, or shadow ban female nipples. But the male equivalent? Almost never flagged. That's right. The internet itself has learned to treat the female body as inappropriate, even when it's not. This digital double standard teaches billions of users that women's bodies are something to censor, even when they're natural, even when they're nurturing, even when they're not sexual at all. That's not just frustrating, it's damaging. And it's time to change that script. This is why campaigns like Free the Nipple exist. Not to provoke, but to educate. Not to sexualize, but to humanize. These movements are asking the world to reconsider. Why is one nipple okay and the other not? The truth, it's never been about morality. It's about power. Who gets to show, who gets to speak, who gets to decide what is visible, acceptable, and respected. Until we face those questions, the cycle of censorship will continue. It's also crucial to say this. Not all women experience their bodies the same way. Some feel intense pleasure from nipple stimulation, others don't feel much at all. For many, sensitivity changes with hormone shifts, like during menstruation, pregnancy, or menopause. That range is normal. There is no should. There is only knowing your body and owning it without comparison. In the end, the female nipple is a symbol, not of scandal, but of how our culture chooses to engage with femininity, biology, and complexity. When we look past the censorship, past the stigma, what do we see? We see a body part designed for life, for love, and for connection. We see a feature that blends function with feeling, comfort with closeness, science with sensation. The shame was never in the nipple. The shame was in how we were taught to see it. And when we replace silence with understanding, censorship with education, and taboo with truth, we don't just free the nipple, we free the minds that were trained to fear it.